Morning. Welcome to another lesson. Welcome to another session. And in this session, we'll be talking about understanding and applying business agility in the context of dynamic market changes. So these are the indicative content. We have VUCA, which means volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous environments. Give me a second. Also, we have customer centricity. We have design thinking, Agile manifesto, Agile principles. So this is the key terminology. What is business agility? So business agility refers to an organization's ability to adapt and respond rapidly to changes in its environment, whether those changes come from the market, technology, regulations, or other factors. It involves the capacity to quickly adjust strategies, processes, structures, and even products or services to capitalize on emerging opportunities or mitigating risks. In dynamic market, where conditions and demand can shift rapidly and unpredictably, business agility becomes crucial. Here's why it's important. So the reason why business agility is important is, first of all, competitive advantage, customer satisfaction, innovation, risk mitigation, and lastly, efficiency. As usual, we have a video.
Energy and focus without the crash.
Drinking myself coconut water. Loved coffee, but at some point I didn't.
We'll be seeing it after the session to get to know more about what business agility is. To continue, what is customer centricity? So customer centricity is a business approach that prioritizes the needs and preference of customer at the core of all decision-making processes. It involves understanding customer needs, preferences, and behaviors to tailor products, services, and experiences accordingly. Here's a breakdown of its key components. So the first component of customer centricity is understanding customer needs. The second one is personalized experiences. The third one is proactive engagement. Fourth is continuous improvement. Fifth is cross-functional collaboration. And the sixth is measuring customer satisfaction. So the first one, understanding customer needs. Customer centricity begins with gaining a deep understanding of your target customers. This involves conducting market research, analyzing customer data, and actively listening to customer feedback. By understanding their pain points, desires, and expectations, businesses can develop products and services that truly meet their needs. So the next one, which is personalized experiences. Customer centricity emphasizes personalization in interaction with customers. This can include personalized marketing messages, tailored product recommendation, and customized service experiences. By treating each customer as an individual and addressing their specific needs, business can enhance customer satisfaction and loyalty. Proactive engagement. Instead of waiting for customers to reach out with problems or inquiries, so you don't have to wait for customers to reach out for problems. You don't have to wait for them to make an inquiry. Customer-centric business actively engage with customers to participate their needs and address concerns before they arise. This proactive approach to customer service helps build stronger relationships and foster trust and loyalty. So you don't when you reach out to customer, it builds trust and loyalty obviously, like, you don't have to like wait for them to reach out. You can literally just reach out to them instead of waiting. I mean, instead of waiting, you can reach out to the customer. Continuous improvement. Customer centricity is not a one-time initiative, but an ongoing commitment to improving customer experiences. Businesses must continuously gather feedback, analyze data, and iterate on products and services to ensure they remain aligned with evolving customer needs and market trends. The fifth one, cross-functional collaboration. Achieving customer centricity often requires collaboration across different departments within an organization, including marketing, sales, customer service, product development, and operations. By breaking down silos and fostering cross-functional collaboration, businesses can ensure a unified approach to delivering exceptional customer experiences. The sixth one, which is the last one, measuring customer satisfaction. How do we measure customer satisfaction? Customer centricity involves measuring and tracking customer satisfaction metrics such as Net Promoter Score, NPS, customer retention rate, and customer lifetime value. These metrics help business assess the effectiveness of their customer-centric initiatives and identify areas for improvement. Tailoring products to meet market demands is a natural extension of customer centricity. By understanding customer needs and preferences, businesses can develop products and services that address specific pain points and deliver unique value propositions. This approach not only increases the likelihood of success in the market, but also fosters strong customer relationships and brand loyalty over time. The next topic we'll be looking at is design thinking. What is design thinking? You might be wondering yourself, what is design thinking? So, design thinking is a human-centered approach to innovation that focuses on understanding the needs and preferences of end users to develop solutions that are both desirable and feasible. It is a problem-solving methodology that prioritizes empathy, creativity, and experimentation to generate innovative ideas and solutions. So here's an introduction to the key principle and steps of design thinking. The first one is empathy, like we said. So design thinking begins with empathizing with the end users or customers to gain a deep understanding of their needs, goals, and pain points. This involves conducting research, observing users' behavior, and engaging in conversations to uncover insights that inform the design process. So this involves like getting statistics on customer behavior, on what product they like, what product do they like, what feature would they like in the product. So that's literally what like that is about. Define. Once insights are gathered, the next step is to define the problem or opportunity. This involves synthesizing the research findings to identify the core challenges that need to be addressed. By reframing the problem in a human-centered way, design thinkers can ensure that the solutions they develop truly resonate with end users. The next one is ideate. In the ideation phase, like an idea or something like that, design thinkers generate a wide range of ideas. So in that phase, you have loads of ideas to address the defined problem or opportunity. This is a divergent phase where quantity is valued over quality and creativity is encouraged. Techniques such as brainstorming, mind mapping, and sketch are often used to generate innovative ideas. So literally almost every tech startup went through this by obviously just brainstorming, having a note, and having a sketch of the product they want. Prototype. Prototyping involves creating tangible representation of ideas to test and iterate on them. Prototypes can take various forms, from low fidelity sketches or wireframes to high fidelity mock-ups or physical models. The goal is to quickly and cheaply test different concepts with end users to gather feedback and refine the solutions. So let me show you something. Yeah. So this is the first version of Twitter, the prototype. So this is the sketch that they made before making it, before actually like building it and so on. The last one is test. The final step in the design thinking process is testing the prototypes with end users to gather feedback and validate assumptions. This involves observing how users interact with the prototypes, collecting their feedback, and iterating on the design based on their input. Testing is an iterative process that helps refine and improve the solutions before they are fully implemented. So how do we apply design thinking to product development? First of all, there must be user-centered design. Design thinking puts the needs and preferences of end users at the center of the product development phase, the process. By empathizing with users, defining their needs and prototyping solutions, design thinkers ensure that products are designed with user needs in mind. So the goal is to work with what user wants, what user need, and also so don't just build a product that the user need. Iterative approach. Design thinking emphasizes an iterative approach to product development, where ideas are tested and refined through rapid prototyping and testing cycles. This allows teams to quickly identify and address usability issues, gather feedback, and make improvements based on user input. Creativity and innovation. Design thinking encourages creativity thinking and innovation by exploring a wide range of ideas and solutions during the ideation phase, like that we spoke about before. So every idea makes sense. Every idea is an idea. Every idea at this phase is an idea. By fostering a culture of experimentation and risk-taking, design thinkers can uncover novel solutions that may not have been considered using traditional product development methods. Cross-functional collaboration. Design thinking promotes collaboration across different disciplines, including design, engineering, marketing, and business. By bringing together diverse perspectives and expertise, teams can develop holistic solutions that address both user needs and business goals. Focus on user experience. So your focus should be on user experience. Like as we have been saying since morning, everything should be with what the user wants, what the user need. Design thinking place a strong emphasis on the user experience, UX, of product and services. By considering the entire user journey from initial discovery to post-purchase support, design thinkers can create seamless and intuitive experiences that delight users and build brand loyalty. Now, we have to look at what VUCA means. So what is VUCA? VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. It is a framework that originated from military vocabulary, but has been widely adopted in business world to describe the increasingly dynamic and unpredictable nature of the modern environment. Here is an explanation of each component of VOCA. The first one is volatility. What is volatility? This refers to the speed and magnitude of change in the environment. The speed and magnitude of change in the environment and volatile solutions. In volatile solutions, conditions can shift rapidly and unpredictably, making it difficult to anticipate and respond effectively. The next one, which is uncertainty. Uncertainty is a lack of predictability about future events or outcomes. In uncertain environments, there's a high degree of ambiguity and limited information available, making it challenging to make informed decisions. The next one is complexity. Complexity refers to the interconnectedness and interdependence of various factors in the environment. Complex situations involves multiple variables and relationships, which can be difficult to understand and navigate. The last one is ambiguity, which is the lack of clarity or definition in the situation. In ambiguous environment, information may be contradictory or incomplete, making it hard to interpret and make sense of what's happening. The next topic is strategies to navigate VOCA situation. When having this problem, how do we navigate them and how do we solve them? The first one is adaptability. You have to embrace change and cultivate a culture of adaptability within the organization. Encourage flexibility, experimentation, and a willingness to learn and adjust in response to evolving circumstances. Resilience. Build resilience by developing robust systems, processes, and structures that can withstand and recover from disruptions. Invest in contingency planning, redundancy, and crisis management capabilities to mitigate the impact of unexpected events. The first one is adaptability simply means you should put adapt. You should cultivate a culture of adapting to any environment that you meet yourself or any circumstances that you meet yourself. The third one, agility. Foster agility by decentralizing decision-making authority and empowering teams to respond quickly to changing conditions. Encourage rapid prototyping, iterative experimentation, and cross-functional collaboration to drive innovation and responsiveness. Strategic foresight. Develop strategic foresight capabilities to anticipate and prepare for future challenges and opportunities. Invest in scenario planning, trend analysis, and horizon scanning to identify potential threats and opportunities on the horizon. Collaboration. They should be able to collaborate with stakeholders, with external stakeholders, including customers, suppliers, and industry peers. Leverage collective intelligence and diverse perspectives to navigate complex programs and capitalize on emerging trends. Continuous learning. Cultivate a culture of continuous learning and development to equip employees with the skills and knowledge needed to thrive in a VOCA environment. Encourage curiosity, creativity, and a growth mindset to foster innovation and adaptation. The last one, which is purpose-driven leadership. Lead with a clear sense of purpose and values to provide direction and inspiration during times of uncertainty. Communicate a compelling vision for the future and demonstrate authenticity, empathy, and resilience in leadership. Our next topic is Agile Manifesto. So, what is Agile Manifesto? The Agile Manifesto is a set of guiding principles for software development that emphasizes iterative development, collaboration, and customer feedback. While the original Agile Manifesto does not explicitly mention customer centricity, several of its principles are inherently related to focusing on customer needs and satisfaction. So the next thing we'll be looking at is an overview of Agile Manifesto principles that are particularly relevant to customer focus. So overview of the Agile Manifesto principles that are particularly relevant to customer focus. So customer satisfaction through early and continuous delivery. This principle emphasizes the importance of delivering values to customers early and continuously throughout the development process. By prioritizing frequent releases of working software, teams can gather feedback from customers and incorporate it into subsequent iterations, ensuring that the final product meets their needs and expectations. Welcome change requirements, even late in development. Agile teams prioritize responding to changing customer needs and requirements over rigidly following a predetermined plan. This flexibility allows teams to adapt quickly to evolving market conditions and customer feedback, ensuring that the product remains aligned with customer expectations. Deliver working software frequently with a preference for the shortest time scale. This means by delivering working software in a short, frequent iterations, Agile teams can validate their assumption and gather feedback from customer early and often. This iterative approach allows teams to course correct quickly based on customer input, minimizing the risks of building the wrong product. Business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. So there must be collaboration between business stakeholders and development team. This is essential for ensuring that the product meets the customer needs. By working closely together on a daily basis, teams can ensure that they have a shared understanding of customer requirements and priorities, facilitating faster decision-making and reducing the likelihood of misunderstandings. So when you are in a team like that, you should be able to work with the developers and work with the business stakeholders. Build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. Empowering and supporting motivated individuals is crucial for fostering a customer-centric culture. Agile teams are encouraged to create an environment where team members feel empowered to make decisions and take ownership of their work, enabling them to focus on delivering values to customers. The last one, the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. While face-to-face conversation may not always be possible, Agile team prioritize direct communication and collaboration as the most effective means of conveying information. We've looked at an example of a way to collaborate by using Teams and Zoom, for example, yesterday. By fostering open and transparent communication, teams can ensure that everyone has a shared understanding of customer requirements and can quickly address any concern or challenges that arise. Our next topic is Agile Principle. What is Agile Principle? Agile Principle are a set of guiding values and behaviors that underpin the Agile Manifesto. These principles emphasize iteration development, collaboration, flexibility, and customer feedback with a focus on delivering value to customers. Give me a second. So we are going to be looking at exploration of Agile principles with a specific focus on customer centricity. Satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. This principle highlights the importance of delivering value to customers early and continuously throughout the development process. By prioritizing frequent release of working software, Agile teams can gather feedback from customers and incorporate it into subsequent iterations, ensuring that the final product meets their needs and expectations. welcome changing requirements even late in development. You have to, like we said in the previous slides, I think this might be, yeah, this might be a mistake because we've looked at it before, I think. Oh yeah, we have looked at it before. Sorry for the confusion. I think we should be taking out the slides. Yeah, continuous learning. So we have customer satisfaction, we have the most efficient, specific conversations. Yeah, we have it here already. Have it here too. So this needs to be taken out. Yeah. So let's look at case studies, an example of applying design thinking in product development. The first one is Apple's iPhone. Apple's iPhone is a classic example of design thinking in product development. The design team at Apple, led by Steve Jobs, focused on understanding users' needs and desires, empathizing with their frustrations with existing mobile devices. They conducted extensive research to uncover insights into user behavior, preferences, and pain points. The result was a revolutionary product that combined innovative technology with elegant design, intuitive interface, and seamless user experience, setting a new standard for smartphones. We all know how Apple came to be. So the process involved Steve Jobs, who was the former CEO of Apple, making a thorough research, conducting a research, and obviously like with users and gathering the information from the users to build an astounding product, which we all know as iPhone. Airbnb experience platform. Airbnb, a leading online marketplace for lodging and travel experiences, applied design thinking to expand its offering beyond accommodation. Recognizing the growing demand for unique and authentic travel experiences, Airbnb launched its experience platform, which allows hosts to offer guided tours, workshops, and activities to travelers. The design team at Airbnb used design thinking principles to understand the needs and preferences of both hosts and guests, co-creating the platform with input from community. The result was a curated selection of diverse and personalized experiences that cater to the interest and passion of Airbnb users worldwide. The next topic is Agile planning in dynamic markets. So what is Agile planning in dynamic markets? This involves Agile planning in dynamic or volatile markets requires flexibility, adaptability, and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. Here are some strategies and techniques for Agile planning in such environments. The first one is short planning cycles. Instead of traditional long-term planning cycles, adopt shorter planning horizon, break down planning into smaller, more manageable increments, such as quarterly or even monthly planning cycles. This allows teams to adjust their plan more frequently in response to changing market conditions. Continuous prioritizing. Regularly reassess priorities based on market feedback, customer needs, and emerging opportunities. Use techniques like the Moscow method, must-haves, should-haves, could-haves, and won't-haves, or value-based prioritization to focus on delivering the most valuable features or initiative first. Let's look at the Moscow method. So yeah, so it's an acronym. Some companies use also use W in Moscow to mean wish. So yeah, you can have a look at that by researching more on it yourself. Yeah, flexible roadmaps. Develop roadmaps that are adaptable and responsive to change. Instead of rigidly defining milestones and deadlines, use roadmaps as visual guides that communicate overall direction and goals while allowing for flexibility in execution. Consider using techniques like team-based roadmaps or outcome-based roadmaps that emphasize business objectives rather than specific features or tasks. How business can adapt to changing market dynamics, case studies of successful agile business. So this is another case study. The first one is adapting to changing market dynamics requires businesses to be agile and responsive to shifts in customer needs. Technology advancements, competitive landscapes, and regulatory changes. Here are some strategies that business can employ to adapt to changing market dynamics. The first one is customer-centric approach, which we looked at earlier, which was our first conversation. This prioritizes understanding customer needs and preference through market research, customer feedback, data analytics. Develop products and services that address evolving customer demands and provide unique value proposition. Agile iterative process. Adopt agile methodology such as Scrum or Kanban to enable iterative development and quick adaptation to changing requirements. Break down projects into smaller, more manageable tasks and prioritize flexibility and responsiveness in execution. The main point of this is for us to like just break down activities, and we should be able to like adapt quickly to the task or to the task changing requirements. Cross-functional collaboration. Foster collaboration and communication across different departments and teams within the organization. Encourage cross-functional teams to work together on projects, share insights, and leverage diverse perspectives to generate innovative solutions. Continue. So, yeah, the continuation of this is the next slide. So, continuous learning and improvement. Cultivate a culture of continuous learning and improvement within the organization. Encourage experimentation, embrace failure as a learning opportunity, and provide resources for professional development and skill enhancement. So don't stop learning if you're in this environment. And as a leader, you should embrace failure because it's normal for failure to happen, and just take it as a learning curve or learning opportunity. Strategic partnerships and alliances. Forge strategic partnerships and alliances with other business, startups, or industry players to access new markets, technologies, or capabilities. Collaborate with partners to co-create solutions, share resources, and mitigate risks in a rapidly changing environment. Technology adoption and innovation. Embrace emerging technologies and innovation to stay competitive and differentiate your offerings. Invest in research and development to explore new technologies, business models, and revenue streams that align with changing market trends. So invest in R&D, which means research and development. So you can make research on what user wants and always like develop what the user wants so that you can ship it to production. Agile leadership and decision making. Empower leaders and decision makers with the authority and autonomy to make a quick and informed decision. Foster a culture of transparency, trust, and empowerment where leaders are accessible and responsive to feedback from employees and stakeholders. So we have to look at the characteristics of agile leadership. The first one is agile leadership in dynamic markets require a different set of characteristics and approaches compared to traditional leadership styles. Here are some key characteristics of agile leadership and strategies for building agile teams in dynamic markets. The first one is visionary and strategic. Agile leaders have a clear vision for the future and strategic mindset that allows them to anticipate market trends and opportunities. They set ambitious goals and inspire their teams to achieve them, while also being adaptable to change and willing to adjust their strategies as needed. Empowering and trusting. Agile leaders empower their teams with decision-making authority and trust them to take ownership of their work. They provide guidance and support, but also give their teams the autonomy to experiment, innovate, and learn from failure. Collaborative and transparent. Agile leaders foster a culture of collaboration and transparency, where open communication, information sharing are encouraged. They actively seek input and feedback from their teams, stakeholders, and customers, and involve them in the decision-making process. What are the characteristics of, also in continuation for this, so we have this, the characteristics of Agile leadership, adaptive and resilient. Agile leaders are adaptive and resilient in the face of uncertainty and change. To remain calm under pressure, embrace ambiguity, and view challenges as opportunities for growth and learning. They are quick to pivot and adjust their plans to respond to new information or market dynamics. Servant leadership. Agile leaders adopt a servant leadership approach where their primary focus is on serving the needs of their teams and removing obstacles to their success. They prioritize well-being and development of their team members and create a supportive environment where everyone can thrive. The last one, which is continuous leader. Agile leaders are lifelong leaders who seek out new knowledge and skills to stay ahead of the curve. They invest in their own personal and professional development, as well as that of their teams, to adapt to changing market conditions and drive innovation. So our last two slides for this learning outcome, the strategies for building agile teams in dynamic markets. The first one is cross-functional teams. So we have to build a cross-functional teams with diverse skills and expertise that can collaborate effectively to tackle complex challenges and adapt to changing market dynamics. Encourage cross-training and knowledge sharing to foster a culture of learning and collaboration. So in a team, you should encourage learning. The team members should be able to like learn from each other, and they should be able to like collaborate with each other, because that's the only way team can work. Clear goals and priorities. So as a leader, you must be able to like set clear goals or clear measurable goals and prioritize that align with the organization vision and strategy. Ensure that team members understand their roles and responsibilities and have a shared understanding of the team's objectives and key results. OKRs. Iterative planning and execution. Embrace iterative planning and execution process, such as agile frameworks like Scrum or Kanban, that allow teams to adapt quickly to changing requirements and priorities. Break down projects into smaller and manageable tasks and prioritize flexibility and responsiveness in execution. Continuous feedback and improvement. So you should establish regular feedback loops and mechanisms for gathering input from team members, stakeholders, and customers. Use retrospectives, stand-up meetings, and other feedback channels to reflect on team performance. Identify areas for improvement and make adjustments as needed. So the last two, which experimentation and innovation. Create a culture of experimentation and innovation where team members are encouraged to explore new ideas, take calculated risks, and learn from failure. Provide resources and support for experimentation and celebrate success and learnings along the way. The last one, which is adaptive leadership development. Invest in leadership development programs that focus on building agile leaderships, capabilities at the levels of the organization. Provide training, coaching, and mentorship opportunities for leaders to develop skills and mindsets needed to thrive in the dynamic market. So as usual, these are the reference and all. This brings an end to this learning outcome, and we have to proceed to learning outcome. So, So let's take a 1 minute break. Yeah. So be able to understand and apply Scrum framework to build IT products. Give me another second. So this is the indicative content for this learning outcome. We have cone of uncertainty, empiricism, Scrum roles, events, artifact, servant leadership, product backlog, and vision. So what is Scrum? We've been talking about Scrum since we started the session yesterday. So Scrum is a popular Agile framework used for managing complex projects, particularly in software development. It emphasizes iterative and incremental delivery, collaboration, and continuous improvement. Here's an introduction to the Scrum framework and its benefits for product development. So there's another video for oh yeah, made a mistake.
How do you get started?
Regarding this, this was supposed to be Scrum. Oh yeah, no worries, not to worry. It's fine. So overview of Scrum framework. So we have roles, we have artifacts, we have events, and we have sprints. Yeah. So Scrum work defined three primary roles: product owner, Scrum master, and development team. The product owner is responsible for representing the interests of stakeholders and maintaining the product backlog. The Scrum Master is responsible for facilitating the Scrum process and removing impediments. The development team consists of professionals who do the work of delivering a potentially releasable increments of the product at the end of each sprint. The next one, artifacts. Scrum defines three main artifacts: product backlog, sprint backlog, and increments, like this that we looked at in the first one, which is roles. The product backlog is a prioritized list of all desired work on the product. The sprint backlog is a subset of the product backlog selected for the sprint, along with a plan for delivering it. The increment is the sum of all the completed work from the sprint, potentially shippable and usable functionality. Events. Scrum defines several events or ceremonies to facilitate planning, collaboration, and review. This includes sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. Sprint planning sets the goals for the upcoming sprint. Daily Scrum is a short daily meeting for the development team to synchronize activities, which can be as stand-up or any meetings that the teams feel like having. Sprint review is a meeting to review the increment and gather feedback. Sprint retrospective is a meeting to reflect on the past sprint and identify area for improvement. The last one, which is sprint. Sprints are time box iterations, typically 2 to 4 weeks long, where potential releasable product increment is created. Each sprint begins with sprint planning, where the team selects work from the product backlog and ends with the sprint review and sprint retrospective, like we looked at in event. So what is empiricism in Scrum? Empiricism, what is empiricism in Scrum? Empiricism is a fundamental concept in Scrum that underpins its approach to managing complex projects. It refers to the idea of making decisions based on empirical evidence and observations, rather than relying solely on speculation or theory. In the context of Scrum, empiricism is applied through the principle of transparency, inspection, and adaptation. So below is the explanation of what those three means. Transparency. Transparency is the foundation of empiricism in Scrum. It means that all aspects of the development process, including work, progress, impediments, and outcomes, are visible and accessible to all stakeholders. Transparency enables everyone involved in the project to have a common understanding of the current state of affairs and make informed decisions based on real-time information. The next one, which is inspection. Inspection involves regularly examining, so you have to regularly examine the progress and outcomes of the development process to identify deviations from the desired state or expectations. So inspect the progress regularly so that the people involved don't deviate from what the stakeholder needs. In Scrum, inspection occurs at various levels, including the daily Scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. During these events, the Scrum team inspects the product increment, the progress towards the sprint goal, and the effectiveness of the team's processes. Adaptation. Adaptation is the process of making changes or adjustments based on the insights gained from inspection. In Scrum, adaptation is facilitated through continuous feedback loops, and the principle of self-organization. The Scrum team collaborates to identify areas for improvement and experiment with changes to address them. Adaptation may involve adjusting the project backlog, refining the team process, or modifying the sprint goal. How empiricism works in practice. First one is transparency. Oh, so this was the same. Oh, no, it's not the same. Yeah. So transparency, the Scrum team maintains transparency by making the progress and outcome of their work visible to all stakeholders. This includes maintaining a clear and up-to-date backlog, updating the sprint backlog, sprint burn-down charts regularly, and holding an open and honest discussion during sprint planning. Daily scrums, sprint reviews, and sprint retrospectives. Inspection. The Scrum team regularly inspects the progress of the project and the product increment during the sprint. And at the end of each sprint, this inspection is done through events such as daily Scrum, where team members discuss their progress and any impediments they are facing, and the sprint review. And the sprint review, where stakeholders provide feedback on the product increment. Adaptation. Based on the insight gained from the inspection, so based on the insight gained from the inspection above, the Scrum team adapts its plans, processes, and product backlog as needed to optimize value delivery. This adaptation may involve reprioritizing items in the product backlog, adjusting the sprint backlog, updating the definition of done, or experimenting with a new practice or techniques during the sprint retrospectives. So understanding the cons of uncertainty in project management. So there's loads of uncertainty in it. So what are the advantages of it? I mean, the con, not cons. The con of uncertainty is a project. The con of uncertainty is a project management concept that describes the inherent uncertainty and variability in in project estimates and forecasts over time. It illustrates how the level of uncertainty gradually decreases as more information becomes available and the project progresses. The concept was first introduced by Barry Boehm in the field of software engineering, but since has been applied more broadly to various types of projects. Here's the breakdown of the cone of uncertainty and how it relates to project management. The first one is early stage of certainty. So there's always an early stage of certainty when you're like working on a project. So at the beginning of a project, there's typically a high level of uncertainty regarding factors such as project scope, requirement, resources, and risks. As a result, estimates and forecasts made during this stage are less accurate and more speculative. Gradual reduction of uncertainty. As the project progresses and more information becomes available, the level of uncertainty gradually decreases. This reduction in uncertainty is illustrated by the narrowing of the cone of uncertainty over time. Factors affecting uncertainty. Uncertainty in projects can be influenced by various factors, including changes in requirements, scope creep, technical complexity, resource availability, external dependencies, and unforeseen risks. These factors can contribute to fluctuations in project estimates and forecasts. Understanding the cone of uncertainty in project management. Continuation. So the first one is risk management. Managing uncertainty is a key aspect of effective project management. Project managers must identify, assess, and mitigate risks throughout the project lifecycle to minimize the impact of uncertainty or project outcomes. This may involve proactive risk planning, contingencies planning, and ongoing monitoring and control. Iterative and incremental approaches. Agile methodologies such as Scrum embrace uncertainty and adaptability by emphasizing iterative and incremental development. Scrum projects are divided into short time-box sprints. So we also have continuous planning and adaptation. In Scrum projects, uncertainty is managed through continuous planning. So you must be able to plan continuously and inspect and adapt. As the project backlog is continually redefined and prioritized based on requirements and feedback from stakeholders. Sprint planning meetings allow teams to select a subset of items from the product backlog. The next one, which is transparency communication. Transparency and communication are essential for managing uncertainty in Scrum projects. So we also have Scrum rules. What are Scrum rules? We've looked at them before. So there are three primary roles, or there are three primary roles, which is Scrum Master, Product Owner, and Developers, also known as the development team. Each role has a distinct responsibility and can contribute to the success of Scrum team and the project as a whole. So the responsibility of a Scrum Master. So this Scrum Master is responsible to facilitate the Scrum process. So they ensure that the Scrum framework is understood and followed by the team. So they facilitate Scrum events such as sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. They also remove impediments. They identify and remove obstacles or impediments. They also coach and mentor. So a Scrum Master coaches and mentors the Scrum team, helping them to understand and apply Scrum principles and practices effectively. Lastly, they ensure transparency. The Scrum Master promotes transparency within the team and with stakeholders. So the product owner, these are the responsibilities of the product owner. They define and prioritize the product backlog. The product owner is responsible for defining and maintaining the product backlog. They also communicate vision and requirements. So the product owner communicates the product vision, goals, and requirements to the Scrum team and stakeholders. They also work closely with the stakeholders because they need to gather feedback and validate assumptions. They accept or reject work results. They're responsible for accepting and rejecting work. For example, if a work is not like up to standard, they are responsible for rejecting it. By doing that, they also make decision. They make decision on behalf of the stakeholders. So the developer, what are the responsibility of the developer? So they deliver increments of potential shippable products. So they are responsible for delivering increments of the product during each sprint. They self-organize. The development team self-organize to determine how best to accomplish the work required to achieve sprint goals. Estimates effort and time. The development team provides an estimate of effort and time required to complete product backlog. And so on. Continuous improvement. Development team participate in sprint retrospective to reflect on their process, identify areas of improvement, and so on and so forth. The next one is Scrum event. Scrum events are time-box ceremonies that provide opportunities for collaboration, inspection, and adaptation within the Scrum framework. So what is sprint? The purpose of sprint and activities done in sprint. The sprint is the heart of the Scrum framework. It is a time-box iteration, typically lasting between 1 to 4 weeks, during which a potential releasable increment of the product is created. The activities done. The sprint begins with sprint planning, where the Scrum team collaborates to select items from the product backlog and defines a sprint goal. We also have sprint planning. What is the purpose? The purpose of sprint planning is obviously like to make a collaborative meeting with the Scrum team. So they plan for work to be performed during the team. So the activities done is that the product owner presents the top items from the product backlog to the development team. The team collaborates to select items from the sprint backlog based on the sprint's goal, and etc. etc. So daily Scrum or daily stand-up, this involves having a time-boxed meeting. So maybe early in the morning or maybe before the team leaves. So they talk about like the activities that they've done and impediments, so where they are lacking and where they need improvement on. So the sprint review is a collaborative meeting held at the end of the sprint to inspect the product increment and gather feedback from the stakeholders. So the development team present the completed work from the sprint to stakeholders and demonstrate the functionality delivered and soliciting feedback. So we also have sprint retrospective. So the purpose of this is to reflect. It's a reflective meeting held at the end of the sprint. So at the end of like building the product, you have to like have a reflection phase, which is the sprint retrospective. So they are identify the area of improvement, opportunities of improvement by taking in the feedback from the stakeholders. So what is Scrum artifacts? Scrum artifacts are key elements that provide transparency and visibility into the work being done and progress of the Scrum project. They serve as tools for communication, planning, and decision-making within the Scrum framework. Here's an overview of Scrum artifacts. So we have the product backlog. So the product backlog is prioritized list of all desired features, enhancements, and fixes for the product. We also have the sprint backlog. The sprint backlog is a subset of the product backlog selected for the current sprint, along with the planning for delivering it. We have a concept of Scrum servant leadership, which is our last topic for today. So servant leadership is a leadership philosophy and approach that emphasizes serving the needs of others, empowering teams, and enabling their success. In the context of Scrum, Scrum Master embodies the principle of servant leadership to support the Scrum team. So you must be able to focus on the team, facilitate and coach, servant leadership mindset, and empowerment autonomy. So this brings an end to our class. So obviously, like if you have any question, don't forget to message this email. And yeah, let's take a look at the video before we go for today.
Hi there, my LinkedIn friends, Kareem Harbert here, and today I'm going to be talking about business agility. Well, I do that most days, to be honest, but I'm going to be answering a question I get asked frequently, and that is, what is this business agility of which you speak, and how is it different from just plain old Agile? All right? So here's how I answer that question. Every single product, every single service, every single business model is on borrowed time. They have a shelf life. Whether you like it or not, the organization you work with or your organization is making a ton of money, I hope, from a product, service, or business model that is going to expire. And the question is, what happens when it does? What happens when the market shifts? What happens when there's disruption? What happens when somebody innovates such that nobody wants to use your product anymore? And this is what marks business agility, or organizations which exhibit that, from standard organizations. Most organizations are set up to execute on the product and service they have today. Very few are set up to create new ones. So for me, where this differs from standard Agile is because Agile, it came from the software development world, and largely we talk about agility in building software products or any kind of product more broadly, right? The ability to inspect and adapt at that level. But what if the product itself is not the right product? What if the business model is not the right business model? What if you need to pivot at a larger scale? What if the whole organization needs to be agile? And for me, that's the difference. Business agility means, can we innovate? Can we respond to a constantly changing environment, create new products, new services, new business models more quickly, more cheaply, more effectively than everyone else, such that you can survive the turbulence and the uncertainty and the craziness going on in the world where others can't. And it's increasingly important because that shelf life of products is getting smaller and smaller and smaller every year, which means the lifespan of organizations gets shorter and shorter and shorter every single year, because most are not set up to do that. And if you want to survive and thrive in a world of uncertainty, you better work out how to do that. That's why business agility is vital to every organization.
This is how
This brings an end to our session today. So I'll see you same time next week.